All right, today I'm going to be listening to Toxicity by System of a Down. This came out in 2001. I know there's quite a bit of classic status behind this record. I believe this is like metal. Am I right about that? I don't know. I guess we'll see. Yeah, never heard anything from this album. Never heard anything from System of a Down in general. Make sure to go join the Patreon if you want to see this reaction uncut. Link in the description to join that down below. Yeah, we're just going to get into it. The first track is Prison Song. Looks like this is maybe the biggest on the album too. Or wait, no. Oh, Chop Suey's on this. Okay. I know that because I know, obviously, the Lil Uzi Vert cover, but I've never heard the original. All right, first track.
Following directs movement to clamp down with your iron fist. Drugs became conveniently available for all the kids. Following directs movement to clamp down with your iron fist. Drugs became conveniently available.
I was not expecting this, like, almost rapped delivery. Okay, I'm here for it.
For you and me, oh baby,
Interesting how it just got kind of sweet and melodic for a sec there.
Utilizing drugs to pay for secret wars around the world. Drugs are now your global policy. Now you police the globe.
Love the groove here. I mean, a lot different vocally than what I was expecting. I mean, obviously you still have those like classic kind of metal growly vocals, you know, but you get a lot of just like more rapped delivery, just so many switch ups in that track that I was not expecting at all. So if the rest of the album's like that, I'm intrigued for sure. Killer riffs, killer grooves, very straightforward but blunt, and hard-hitting lyrical themes here as well. How many different vocalists is there? Serge, so is it just Serge and Darren, or was there more? Looks like it's just them too. Yeah, I love just, again, that vocal variety. Really kept things fresh on that track. All right, let's keep going. Needles is next. The way those guitars just come in, too, it's just like a punch in the face. It's crazy. Those fills. Love the syncing up of the guitars here and the drums as well. Like this. Just hammers that riff into your brain. Okay.
Waiting for the tomb, some more dying.
Oh my gosh, that transition. Fun little catchy track. Again, I'm just loving the switch ups from the heavy, like, insistent groove of the riff and the drums paired together, and then the more, like, intricate drums with the fills and stuff. Yes, it's incorporating like classic styles of this genre, but it's pairing it with some unexpected twists and turns, you know? In terms of the mix, I would have liked the vocals. I don't know, the vocals just felt a little bit thin in my opinion, and the mix in general just felt a little bit thin. I don't know. It felt like it could have just been a bit heavier at points, but that's really my only nitpick for that one. Let's keep going. Deer Dance is next. I want to take it back to this transition again. Ugh. Nasty. Okay. Yep. I like this riff. See, I love how he just like, yes, you have this do vocal delivery, but then he kind of just throws in a little melodic idea at the end there. It's really, really interesting. Peaceful loving youth against the brutality of plastic existence. Pushing little children with their fully automatics. They like to push the weak around, the weak around. And I love these little melodic bridges they go into. It's so... Hear the guitar layering here?
Pushing little children with their fully automatics. They like to push the weak around. Pushing little children with their fully automatics. They like to push the weak around. Push the weak around. They like to push the weak around. Oh
my gosh, dude, the way these tracks just start is like an assault on the senses. It's crazy. And it makes sense too, because you're talking about police brutality here. There's so much anger, aggression, and just like this visceral feeling to this track. And I think this is my favorite, definitely. That riff just goes so freaking hard. And that, again, that little melodic bridge, it's so interesting that they decided to go with that. I'm really starting to love this guy's vocals. I mean, it's just... They're so colorful and just full of personality. Yeah, that was amazing. That was absolutely fantastic. Guitars are sounding good too. I'm not super experienced when it comes to like metal and stuff, but a lot of the metal that I've heard, sometimes the guitars can sound a little bit too compressed and just like crunched and almost like thin in a way. But the guitars are sounding really, really well produced so far. I think I saw, was Rick Rubin a producer on this? Yeah, he is. Who else? So that's one of the vocalists, right? Vocalist, and then Rick Rubin. I didn't know Rick Rubin like produced rock records or like metal records, you know? I thought he was mostly just like a kind of hip hop guy, but that's cool to see. Yeah, let's keep going. Jet Pilot. Really interesting just to start with the chorus too. I feel like a lot of the tracks are doing that. They just start with a hook, as the word suggests, hook you in, and then they go into the verse. I don't know. I like it. Was that he couldn't survey the skies very far, flying over a great bay. Wired with the eyes of a horse on a jet pilot. Is that we all don't survey the skies very far. Okay, cool track. Maybe not one of my favorites. I felt like the riff was maybe just a little bit too similar to some of the tracks before it. But one thing I'm really loving too about this project is just how like stripped down it is to just like its core elements. You know, there's not much like flash put into this, and that might sound that might sound like crazy to say because it is so upfront and in your face. But there's no, I don't know, it just feels like it's boiled down to like the core elements of what makes this genre good, you know? You got good riffs, you got fantastic drumming, and you got colorful vocals. In terms of production and just like the layers of stuff going on, I feel like that's really all you need. As long as those elements themselves are strong, it works, you know? and it's working so far. I mean, obviously there's lots of political themes on this track, social commentary and stuff like that. I like the lyrics on this track too. They're a little bit more abstract and metaphorical and imagery heavy on this one as well. So yeah, let's keep going. I'm just hoping these riffs don't get repetitive, you know, because that one, like I said, felt a little bit too similar to some of the riffs before it, but I guess we'll see. I mean, just the way these guitars fill out the headphones, it's so expertly done. It's so wide. So is this about, like, overpopulation, maybe? Like I said, I mean, some of these tracks are really short too. They just get to the point. There's no like fluff to any of this. It's very straightforward and to the point. Yeah, I love that little like breakdown in the second half of like going to that guitar and then the that comes in with the drums. Just cool, like, play with some of the ideas in the earlier track and, like, reintroducing them in a different context. Chop Suey. Okay, here we go. Chop Suey. 1.3 billion streams. That's kind of insane. What the heck? I've heard the Lil Uzi Vert cover, which a lot of people hated. I have never heard the original, so I didn't have anything to compare it to. But I guess we'll see what the original sounds like now. Good harmonies here. I think I remember how the vocal line goes. Wake up. Grab a brush and put a little makeup.
Wake up! Wake up! Grab brush and put a little makeup. I discuss the fade away the shake up. Why'd you leave the keys up on the table? Here you go, create another fable. You wanted to. Grab a brush and put a little makeup. You wanted to. I discuss the fade away the shake up. You wanted to. When angels deserve to die.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense why that track is so huge. It's so, like, cinematic and epic and theatrical almost, you know? So, yeah, it's definitely better than the Lil Uzi Vert definitely did not really do that track justice. Yeah, I mean, the vocals at one point there when in this bridge here, like the second father, like, it sounded so pained and, like, ripping his soul apart. It was just like very, very emotive in that section. And just the whole rhythm of wake up, grab her brush and put a little makeup. It's so memorable because of those breaks and just because of how it's delivered. It's pretty iconic. So yeah, let's keep going. Next track is Bounce. I feel like there is a little bit of like a barrier for me with this album in terms of like, I'm appreciating how like technically proficient it is, how well produced it is, how well mixed it is. But I don't know, in terms of just like this style of music, it doesn't really click with me on a super deep emotional level. I mean, there has been moments where it has, but I don't know, it feels like, again, there's a little bit of a distance between me and this music. And maybe I just gotta like submit myself to it, you know, and really let myself be hit by it. But I don't know, we'll see if it happens. Bunga. know, I really hear actually My Chemical Romance taking a lot of inspiration in terms of just like how theatrical these vocals are, you know, and even the way the vocals are mixed too. It's really Oh, this is 2001. When was the Black Parade? That wouldn't have been that long after this. For some reason I thought this was like 90s. Black Parade was 2006. Okay, 5 years after. Yeah, I'm definitely hearing that influence. Really like this guitar tone right here. Dang, okay. Maybe the craziest vocal performance. What is this about? The song is about sex. It could be about group sex. Okay. The pogo stick is basically a dick. Okay. She's jumping on that. I guess that's what it could be. It was so exotic. They lined up double quick. All players with no names. I wonder what this means in the grander scheme of the album. Cool track. Not one of my favorites, but that vocal performance was pretty crazy. I can just imagine too, like on a good set of speakers, I imagine this goes so hard. Like how well those guitars are mixed, it probably sounds so good. I mean, it sounds good in these headphones, but probably even better on a good set of speakers. Like this rising melody here. Love the tension this melody builds. And then the release here. Oh, and now we're rising with the guitars. Oh. Oh, good bass line here. That might be my favorite so far. I think just like compositionally, it was the most interesting for me. Just how they like introduced different ideas and took things out. It was just really well constructed and really intricate guitar moments. I really like that rising melody and then the release into the chorus. And yeah, overall one of my favorites. Pretty fantastic. I think it helped that it was a little bit longer too. It gave those ideas more time to breathe and made it feel a little bit more complete than some of these other tracks, so. Oh, whoa, okay. An ecologist mandate begun by the notorious Charles Manson, whom one of the guys in the band cited several times as an inspiration. I mean, we had that, wasn't there like a Charles Manson sample on Ex-Military too? That was a while ago. That was like right when I started doing reactions. We've come full circle with the Charles Manson references.
All the world I've seen before me passing by. You don't care about how I feel. I don't feel it anymore. You don't care about how I feel. I don't feel it anymore. You don't care about how I feel. I don't feel it anymore. You don't care about how I feel.
The rolling of the R's.
Passing by, you don't care about how I feel. I don't feel it anymore. You don't care about how I feel. I don't feel it anymore. You don't care about how I feel.
Interesting to have these like bright guitars here. I feel like so many of the guitars have been so heavy and muddy and dirty, like purposefully, but the brightness here is really standing out.
I've seen before me passing by. You don't care about how I feel. I don't feel it anymore. You don't care about how I feel. I don't feel it anymore. You don't care about how I feel.
Yeah, really scary level of kind of just dejection on this track and just like this apathetic feeling. I don't care anymore. It just feels like there's so little self-worth, that I mean, if it's inspired by Charles Manson, that kind of makes sense. Feels like he's just on the verge of doing something crazy. Good track. Again, I like the brightness of the guitars there. I don't know, this album, so like at this point, the push and pull of these tracks, it was cool at first, but now it's getting a little bit repetitive. I hope we get some sort of like, I don't know, some sort of switch up. There's something to surprise my ears, because I mean, there has been moments of that, but I don't know, I feel like we're on a run here that's, I mean, Forest was great, but we're just on a run that is feeling a little bit too one-dimensional and samey. I will say, though, every time those guitars just come in, those wall of guitars, it sounds so good. It just hits so hard. It's crazy.
The reality predicting the future of things we all know. Fighting off the disease programming of centuries.
Where are these guys from? Are these guys American or like... Because he's definitely putting on like an accent. Or that might just be his accent. Okay, yeah. Okay, he's Lebanese. I mean, I should have gathered by his name that he probably wasn't American, but okay, so yeah, this is his accent. Okay. For some reason I thought, so he is Lebanese, but he was born in America. Okay. Oh, yeah. Here we go. I mean, I asked and I received. That had some great guitar work. That, like, what was that? The bridge? That bridge. The way just, like, everything built on top of each other was so unexpected and so well done. That was insane. That was really good. That was, again, enough of a switch up to keep me interested, and I think it's really important that this track shows up here in this track list. Interesting perspective for this track, too, because, I mean, based off everything this album has been saying politically, I mean, I feel like I didn't expect the band to take this perspective, but it's fair. It's a fair one to have, definitely. I love how he's just saying go, and then the band just goes and does this little like guitar turnaround. I don't know, it's like he's this conductor conducting the whole thing. It's really cool. Oh, kind of jazzy drums here. What the heck? With that ride. Whew. What a banger. That might be one of my favorites. That little like jazzy little ride section, that was crazy. I love his vocal performance here too. I love how deep and guttural and aggressive he is here. Yeah, that was fantastic. Again, he just feels like this conductor just pulling the strings of the band and just like controlling everything. There's such a great sense of chemistry between this band, and he just feels like he's leading everything, you know? He's commanding the attention of the band, commanding the attention of the listener, and just like, I don't know, the spotlight is on him for sure. But the band still is like coming up with these great little like guitar lines and great little drum sections as well. Maybe, oh, okay, so the track definitely is about indoctrination too, so maybe the feeling I'm getting of him controlling the band is purposeful to kind of illustrate that as well. Like when he says, go, and then the band does that little guitar turnaround, and then he says his thing, and then he says, go, and then the band does their thing. That definitely could be purposeful. Really, really cool track. Definitely one of my favorites. Love that. Next we got the title track, Toxicity. Good drums here. Oh. These guitars here kind of have a grungy feel to them. Kind of remind me of Nirvana in a way.
The toxicity of our city, of our city. Yo, what do you own the world? How do you own disorder? Somewhere
Oh, the speed of that riff is crazy.
More wood for their fires, loud neighbors, flashlight reveries caught in the headlights of a truck. Of our city. No, what do you own the world? How do you own disorder? No, somewhere between the sacred silence. Disorder.
Dude, the drums.
Between the sacred silence and sweet disorder.
Oh,
When I became the sun that shone life into the man's heart. When I became the sun that shone life into the man's heart.
oh my gosh, dude. That was insane. That was absolutely wild. I feel like that, like, objectively might be one of the best tracks. I mean, just the performance. I feel like I haven't really talked about the actual performance of the band here, but just how in sync they are with each other. Just like the speed of those riffs and the speed and intricacies of those drums too. So freaking good, dude. That track is just like adrenaline at 1,000%. It is just absolutely insane. So good. That was crazy. Let's keep going. Like, I feel like when this album's at its best, it's kind of tiring me out like that. Like, you have such a high octane banger that it can't do anything but leave me emotionally drained and just like physically tired, you know? That was so good. Psycho's next. Okay, kind of a industrial feel here. What the? 9 Inch Nails vibes?
Psycho, cocaine, cocaine, crazy. Psycho, cocaine, cocaine, crazy. Psycho, groupie, cocaine, crazy. Psycho, groupie, coke makes you high, makes you high, makes you
Love this vocal delivery.
really wanna think and stop your right. So you want the world to stop, stopping and watch your body fully drop from the time you were a psycho, groupie, cocaine, crazy. Makes you really wanna go. Stop. Psycho, groupie, cocaine, crazy. Psycho, groupie, coke makes you high, makes you high. Do you really wanna think and stop? Cocaine crazy.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Wow, dude. That I feel like that really showed like a different side of what this band can do. Like very orchestral, a lot of melodic and harmonic ideas that just like, and that, of course that bright guitar solo. I feel like we haven't really had that many of like just like guitar solos throughout this album. Just the way that that track builds too, and even when it's going to those more punchy like staccato sections, there's something about it that still just kind of makes me want to like float along. It doesn't really want to make me headbang, you know? I think because even those choppier sections, they do make me want to float along. It makes those, when you get to the really like spacey and drawn out section, it makes those kind of work, you know? It's not too much of a contrast in the way that it's like jarring, you know? I don't know. That track is really, really interesting, and I feel like shows a really different side of this band that hasn't really been showed on this album so far, so really liked it. This album's, I mean, it hit a little bit of a slow part with like ATWA and Science, in my opinion, kind of the midpoint of the album, but it's really, really finding its stride once again here. Two more tracks, Aerials. And like I said, orchestral, and we're here with the cello. The strings. Kind of another grungy little guitar passage here. The melody or harmonies. Oh, that's a good snare sound. Like that.
Aerials in the sky. When you lose small mind, you free your life. Life is a waterfall. We drink from the river, then we turn around and put up our wall. We are the ones that want to choose. Always want to play, but you never want to lose.
Really good melodic like structure to that track, and just like chord progression too, especially during that do 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 do. I don't know, like it's obviously this descending scale, but I like going back to that tonic in each one and then ending it with the do 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 and then keeping on the same one. Simple but really satisfying. Yeah, fantastic. Let's keep going. And the last track I think we're on. Yeah, last track is Arto. I also do like how they're putting kind of these like global influences in their music too. Obviously with, I don't know how many of the members of the band are, said he was Lebanese, right? So I feel like they're really paying homage to some of those sounds. Yeah, I like just including that in there. It makes it stand out a little bit as well. Like even here too. I thought that said American chants at first. I was like, what are American chants? Well, Armenian chants. Oh, it says hidden at the end of Aerials. Dusties. Okay, I mean, I love that decision to finish off this album. I was gonna say what a strange choice, and it is, but it also feels like it makes sense because again, a lot of the themes of this album kind of critiquing American culture, and again, obviously, there's members of this band that aren't they grew up in America, but they're not American, you know. So it feels like tying it back to their cultural roots, maybe. I feel like I missed a lot of the deeper themes that are intertwined in this album, and that this ending track probably makes more sense it will probably make more sense on future listens once I kind of take in those themes a little bit deeper. But just like technically the ability to put this on an album and have it be so different from the rest of the album, but also feel like it fits in a strange way as well. Like, was it the same producers doing this? It was. Same producers, just completely switching up the style and just producing something completely different than the rest of the album. And it was still, it felt like authentic and original, and it felt like it did this sound justice. Really, really interesting way to end off this album. I had like an internal struggle with this album throughout the course of this listen. Like, I was like, okay, at first, cool. Yeah, cool riffs. Technically really impressive. Great vocals. Great production. Great mixing. But maybe I'm not emotionally connecting. But I feel like that emotional connection came towards the end of the album. And it'll probably continue once I return to this album as well. Maybe it just took a little bit for me to like really get acclimated to the sound, but yeah, I feel like that connection definitely was established towards the end. And I still appreciate all like the technical elements and stuff, but it just started hitting a little bit different towards the end. And who knows, maybe on future listens I'll come to the conclusion that it was connecting more, maybe just because the second half is actually just better. Really, really, really cool album here. Obviously, again, it calls back and it pays homage to these classical, or these classic, like, what you expect from, like, a metal album, but it's putting interesting twists on it as well. And I was looking at Album of the Year. I guess this is considered alternative metal, which makes sense. It's a, like, avant-garde metal as well. So, yeah, as someone who's not super... Nu metal is the other one it was listed as. As someone who's not super knowledgeable about metal in this genre, I feel like this is... like a good place to start. I mean, maybe I should start with something a little bit more just like straight, just metal, you know, not alternative metal or whatever. But I don't know. I found this to be really interesting sonically, lyrically, and vocally. So yeah, really well done. Really, really fantastic. I imagine this is just gonna probably continue to grow on me with future listens. Yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know any insights you want to leave down below, as always. And yeah, make sure to go, again, check out the Patreon if you want to see this reaction uncut. And yeah, if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.